Okay. Good afternoon, class. I hope my screen is visible properly to one and all. Okay. So let's start with the third unit, that is implementation of object modeling techniques. It is pure theoretical concept, but it will try to brush up our basic idea is regarding what is OMT, what are the advantages of the OMT we are getting, and how the OMT will be helpful for the implementation of the various models. Basically, it works with the object model, then functional model, and then dynamic model. We'll try to understand it with respect to again implementation of OMT. And most importantly part, while we are running or why the object oriented modeling or object oriented programming languages are famous or popular, the reason behind this all is what it's a OMT. Inbuilt data are having so many advantages that if you want to get that advantage, you have to follow the OMT technology. So that's the part we are going to discuss in the third unit. So let's start. The point what we are going to discuss, we will study programming language and database systems, use of programming language, then object oriented style. We will discuss features of object oriented languages, and then we will discuss applications of object modeling techniques like object diagram compiler, then computer animations. So very small chapter, but comparatively that covers lots of advantages or popularity regarding object modeling and technology. So let's start with the basic idea. What do you mean by object modeling techniques? As the name suggests, that is in short form, we are going to call it as what? OMT, which stands for Object Modeling Techniques, OMT. So OMT is a methodology of object-oriented analysis, designing, and implementation that focus on creating a model of objects from the real world and then to use this model to develop object-oriented software. Now, as the name suggests, or let's compare it with what you are aware, that you are aware that to develop any software you have to follow the software development life cycle phases. What are that software development life cycle phases? If I ask, that is the simplest part is it is analysis, designing, coding or implementation, then testing, and then deployment. So whatever the part you are doing as a part of SDLC, by OMT technology, we will focus on object-oriented analysis. Earlier it was just an analysis part, but we will focus on object-oriented analysis. Then we will focus on object-oriented designing. And if we focus OOA and OOD, it automatically becomes as a part of OOMD implementation. So that is what the concept of OMT. We have to change the perspective. In OMT technology, everything we will treat as an object. And once we got the object, with respect to object, we can define anything. To implementation from the perspective of implementation. So object modeling techniques was developed by James Ramberg. James Ramberg is one of the famous scientists who has invented this. Nowadays, this OMT is one of the most popular object-oriented development techniques whose primarily used by the system and the software developers to support full lifecycle development while targeting object-oriented implementation. So whatever we will do, no need to do a separate analysis part, separate designing part. We will keep perspective of object-oriented, and will, with respect to object-oriented, we will perform the analysis, will perform the designing. So it has a proven itself easy to understand, which will help to draw to use. So very successful in many application domains like telecommunication, transportation, compilers, etc. So this is what the basic idea about the object modeling technique. So conclusion part regarding this OMT technology is what we can say. Treat each and everything with respect to object. Once you got the object, with respect to object, you can find out the properties of an object like state, behavior, method, Sometimes it is called state behavior, then unique identity, and then roles and responsibilities, SBIR properties. Collection of the objects we are calling as what? Class. And putting the classes together we are calling as what? Packages. Define the relationship among the classes with the different types of relationship, and rearrange or organize them itself in such a style we will call it as what? Either component diagram. And once we complete this we can able to deploy this. So in gen everything becomes easier when we are thinking in terms of object oriented analysis. That is what the base regarding the OMT. I hope this part is clear to one and all. Moving to the next point, what are the different models? Means if I want to implement, if at this moment, if I want to implement OMT techniques to my project, it means what I'm going to do, I am going to simply implement, I'm going to simply draw three models for my project or for my software development life cycle. What are the three models I'm going to complete, or what are the three models I'm going to draw? I'm going to draw the object model. The first model I will complete is object model. Second model I will complete as the dynamic model, and the third model I will complete as a functional model. If I complete these three modules for any project or any software on which I am working, I can say that I have implemented the object modeling techniques. So let's see each one of them. Now, object model, as the name suggests, what does this object model? Object model focuses the principles of abstraction, encapsulation, modularity, hierarchy, typing, concurrency, persistence. So object model basically emphasize on the object and class. You are all well aware of at this moment that what is object model? Object model is nothing but simply we are representing the project with respect to a collection of different objects and how objects are going to interact with each other. So simple object diagram we can draw. But as I told to you many times, no need to draw the separate object diagram. We can represent the object diagram in class diagram itself. So basically what is class? Class is nothing but a group of similar objects which are having some common attributes. We will club them together and we will represent it in terms of the class diagram. So object model is nothing but simply remember drawing the class diagram. If you are remembering, we draw the class diagram for the login where we have discussed the three different pages or the three different classes who are associated with each others that represent my object model. So simply remember the class diagram. Second, we have discussed as a dynamic model. As the name suggests, dynamic means who is going to get change. What kind of input you have, or with respect to specific inputs or with respect to specific conditions, the part is going to get changed. We'll call them as what? Dynamic model. As soon as your input changes, your entire flow is going to get changed. That is moving from one place to another place, called like a transaction, or their impacts are going to get changed. That kind of a perspective we are calling dynamic model. So what does the dynamic model? Dynamic model covers, or it is just a simple collection of different states, events which are represented in terms of state diagrams. Also, what we can represent in terms of their sequence also. So we will call the dynamic model in terms of state diagram, activity diagram, and sequence diagram. We will call, or simply we will call simply as a dynamic behavior model. So sometimes it may be represented in terms of even collaboration diagram also. So we'll call it as what? Dynamic model. Now next model is functional model. As the name suggests, functional model focuses on how data is flowing, where data is stored, and different processes. So simply if you are remembering, functional model we will represent in terms of a data flow diagram. Simple. So where we will focus on how data is flowing, means we will just understand the flow. Second, where data will be stored, means data storing unit. And third is processing of data. That is what, again, flowing the data from one source to another source. That we will understood, and how the data will be get transferred, called as what? Data different processes. So main concept involved in the functional models are data, data flow, data store, processes, and the actors. So functional model in OMT describes the whole process and its actions with the help of a data flow diagram. That is what the simple OMT technology in terms of a model. So whenever I'm saying that for any project you are implementing the OMT, it means you have to complete these three different types of models. In model, you will have a different diagrams. Understand the difference between model and diagram. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between model and diagram? What is the relationship between model and diagram? Anyone? Am I audible? Anyone can reply? Yes. Am I audible? My screen is visible. I ask you the simple question. Yes. Can anyone give me the idea? What is difference between diagram and model? Or both are same? Yes, anyone. Difference between model and diagram. Okay. No reply. It means whatever I am telling you are getting or not. I got one reply from Sonia. Okay, very good. So no need to get worried. I'll tell you the simple difference. Model is nothing but collection of different diagrams. And diagram represent the specific condition. Diagram represent the specific scenario or specific way of interactions. So collection of that model or collection of the different diagrams we will call as a models. So simply remember, model is equal to collection of diagrams. And diagrams, for example, that state diagram, if I say state diagram represent the specific states, what input you have given, and based on what input how the transaction will take place to trace the particular events. So we'll call it as one particular diagram called as what, for example, state diagram. Is this clear? Difference between the diagrams and the models. Okay, next, if I want to implement the OMT, that is object modeling techniques, I want to implement in my project, what or how I can implement. It can be implemented in the different phases. The first phase is like OA, which stands for object oriented analysis. Second is object oriented designing. We will call simply as a system designing. Then we will call it as an implementation, object oriented implementation. And the last part is what we can see, implementation in the perspective of design. So let's see analysis. Analysis is the first phase where we will build the model of real world situations to show its important properties and the domain. The phase is concerned with the preparation of precise and correct modeling of the real world. The analysis phase starts with the defining a problem statement which includes a set of goals. So here this analysis phase is nothing but we will try to perform the investigation, and that the investigation will be exactly with the problems or correlating with the real world scenarios, and with respect to real world scenarios we will try to perform the analysis part. So this is what the phase of OMT. So let's take a simple example that you all are aware about. I'll say, okay, so you all are aware about one system. For example, I'm giving the simple example as a rediffmail.com. Okay. I'm working with rediffmail.com and I'm interested to perform login as a user. How I can perform the analysis for this particular activity. Can anyone help me? Yes, anyone can help me? Okay. So just imagine this is the login page. I want to perform the login to Rediff mail. So this is the simple scenario, but I want to make the documentation for this. Making simple or writing the specification to the processes called as what? Analysis. So now I just want to perform the analysis for the login. So I can define it in simple way. First part as a name. So I want to perform login for Rediff mail. The name I have given. Okay. Second step will be what I am going to perform. Can anyone help me, please? Are you getting what I want to say? I just want to, whatever I am doing right now, I just want to write the document for this. I will enter my user ID, I will enter my password, and I will click on my submit button, or I will click on the sign in button. So I just want to make the documentation for the same. So I have given the name of an activity, login for Rediff mail. Next is one, I need to perform some basic steps. So I'm calling it as what? Basic flow. If basic flow is coming, it may be having another flow. So we are calling alternative flow. I'll call it as an alternative flow. Then I need some kind of a prerequisites, or I'm calling simply as a preconditions. Then I will call post conditions. How many points I'm writing here for the login? Second, I will write as a basic flow. Third, I will consider as an alternative flow. Fourth, I will consider as a precondition. And then fifth, I will consider as a post condition. And sixth, as an optional point, I will consider as extension point. Extension point. Okay. Now consider the login for the Rediff mail system. What will be my basic flow? So my basic flow will be very simple. The first step is enter user ID. Done. Next step will be enter password. And next step will be submit. Click on submit button. That is click on sign up button. So as soon as I will click on this, whatever the things will happen, I'm calling it as what? Basic flow. So I'll come here, I'll enter my user ID, I'll enter my password, and I'll click on submit button, or I will call simple as a sign in. When I click on the sign in, I'm getting the message here, hi username. It means welcome user, for example. So I will write here, the flow what I'm getting is welcome plus I'll call simply in double bracket username, whatever you have entered. So username is what one of the alternative flow. Or second might be the possibility where I can get, suppose I have entered wrong credentials. For example, I'll try one more time to get login, and where I have entered the wrong password. I'm getting the message error page, error message like here. So I'll add here error page. So this is what alternative flow I am getting. So understanding this, जी प्रोसेस आहे ह्याला मी काय म्हणतोय अनालिसिस प्रोसेस अँड each and everything I'm treating in terms of an object. So this entire process I'm calling simply as an analysis process. So this technique is I'm calling simply performing OMT analysis part. So this is what analysis process. So analysis process starts with defining a problem statement which includes a set of goals. So what I'm going to do, what I want to perform, and how I'm going to perform. Basic idea I will discuss as a part of analysis phase. Now second part is what? System design. The system design phase comes after the analysis phase. The system design phase determines the overall system architecture using subsystems, concurrent tasks, and data storage. So during system design, the high level structure of the system is designed, and the decisions made during the system designs are, so this system design focusing on at higher level, means the levels if I consider at high level, decisions will be discussed, where who is going to use the system, we will find them out in terms of as an actors, who else are interested to interact with the system, how they are going to interact with the system, sorry, we'll find out them, and we will focus how many parallel activities are going to take place in terms of the concurrent task, how the data will be processed and how the data will be stored. This part we will discuss as a part of a system design. So the system is organized into subsystems which are then allocated to the processes and the tasks, taking into account concurrency and collaborations. So this is what one of the most important part. We will divide some activities if required in a parallel scenarios, and we will carry out the parallel execution of the activities. So persistent data storage is established along with the strategy to maintain shared or a global information, and boundary situations are checked to help guide trade-off the priorities. So here basically in the system designing, we will think about, simply we can call as a part is just user interactions with the system we will try to focus. We will not go into details, but how many systems will be there and how the systems are going to interact with each other, that part we will discuss as a part of a system designing. We'll come back again to understand the difference between system design and one more design concept is there called as what object design. So we'll understand that this difference. Now next is one implementation. But before that implementation, understand object design. So object design phase comes after the system design phase is over. Here, the implementation plan is developed. The object design is concerned with fully classifying the existing and remaining classes, their association means relationship, attributes and operations necessary for implementing a solutions to the problems. In object designing, basically we'll try to focus on operations and data structures, class level associations, and issues of inheritance, aggregation, association, and default values are checked. Now, if you compare the object design with the system design is high level design, where object design is low level design. In low level designing, we will consider each and every activity as a terms of a object. With respect to that specific objects, we are going to define how the object is going to react based in terms of their operations, based in terms of their relationship, and how the objects will be inherited, or how the objects will be associated with the default values. All these parts will be checked throughout the process. That is what the difference. This considered as a high level design and this considered as a low level design. Now next is one implementation. So implementation phase of the OMT is a matter of translating the design into the programming language construct. So simply is what I am saying. We will implement the OMT phase as a matter of translating the designing. Whatever the developer, whatever, sorry, not developer, whatever the designer has made Guys, I'm facing some internet issues over here. The college, I'm in the college only, but unfortunately, the power off is there. No internet connection is also there. So I have just connected through my mobile. I don't know how much time it will run. So I'll just uh, cover the that part. So this is the basics of OMT. We have covered the object diagram. We have covered the implementation, then system design. So I'm just discussing about this phases of OMT, analysis part, designing part, then okay. So these are the different phases of object-oriented modeling and techniques. Simply remember in terms of their analysis parts, in terms of their system design part, then implementation part, and then next as object design parts. Now, after completion of this, we will focus on the next part. That is what, while we are implementing the OMT, actually, I just want to show you the demo, how to get the code and why, while getting the code, how to do the design phase important. But unfortunately, I lost the internet connection to my laptop. So I'll running on my mobile. I'll cover the theoretical part and then we will switch to hands-on session. Okay. Next part is regarding the implementation of OMT, where we will focus on what is the coding part or what will else the standards that we need to go for implementation of the coding, and what precautions we need to take into the consideration for as far as the implementation part is considered. Because the designing part is okay. In designing part, you will complete the functional modeling, you will complete the dynamic modeling, and you will able to complete the object modeling also. Now, once you complete with this, we need to go for the next part called as what implementation. Implementation is nothing but writing a code. So whatever diagram is there with respect to the same structure, we will try to write the diagram. So similarly, just like a civil engineer. So civil engineer prepares what we can say blueprints, and the same structure is developed. Whatever the blueprint is there, with respect to blueprint, the same structure they develop, same structure they develop as a part, means whatever there is in the blueprint, same the construction is done. Similarly, whatever the diagrams are there in the software, same diagrams will be completed or will be converted into the coding part. So we will call that as what, implementation of OMT. So writing code is an extension of the designing process, means whatever there is in the design part, same as it is, we will try to convert it into the coding parts. Next, writing code should be straightforward, almost mechanical process, because of all the difficult decisions should already have been made during the designing. So without taking much of time, whatever the diagram is there, whatever the modeling part you have done, convert the same into the coding styles. So the code should be a simple translation of the design decisions into the peculiarities of particular language. Whatever else the language you are using, maybe C++ or Java or any object oriented programming language you are using, you can use it. Make sure that it will be a simple translation of the design. So whatever the logic you have written in the design itself, the same logic we will try to convert it into the context of programming language, because the logic remains same, only the programming or only the syntax part is going to get changed. That we need to get into the consideration. Second part, we need to understand while we are decisions to be made while writing the code. The program code is the ultimate embodiment of the solutions to the problem. So the way in which it is written is important for maintainability and extension. Just a second, light has came. We'll switch. Light came, but no power supply there. So let's move back. So whatever the decisions we will take as a part of a designer's perspective, the developer has to write with the same perspective. So the coding will follow the same strategy, in the sense, the same logic, in the sense what we have done as a part of a designing. So the program code is the ultimate the solutions to the problem. So the way in which it is written is important for the maintainability and extensibility. So whatever the code we will write, make sure that that code is so simple to understand, and also make sure that the code can be easily performed for the further projects with respect to their maintainability and with respect to their extensibility. So this kind of things we need to take into the considerations. Next is implementation using a programming language. So the same points what we are discussing. So most executable languages are capable of expressing the three aspects of the software specification, like data structure, dynamic flow, and functional transformation. Means if any programming language, if you take into the consideration, in that programming language, we need to understand the two types of a flow. That is, the first is a data flow, and second as a control flow, and third is what? The data structure. Data structure, I am talking about how you declare. For example, if I take example of a C, so it is expected to first declare, means include whatever the header file you want to include, like whatever the header files you have added, then go for the declaration that regarding what are the types of variables you are going to use, decide that different types of variables, give the specific names. So that is called as one data structure. And then write the code in a way that you will define the control flow and you will define the data flow, declarations and all the parts. So data structure is expressed in a declarative subset of language, only declarative part, no procedural part. The statements that are used to declare data structures are sometimes mixed with the procedural statement but are not executable. Yes, true. So the traditional languages are purely procedural, although the programmer can implement non-procedurals as a data. So along with this, implementation of an object-oriented design is easiest using an object-oriented language, but even object-oriented language vary in their degree of support for object-oriented concepts. So simply I can say at this moment is the declaration of variable inside the class, outside the class, where you will get as a part of advantages. In procedural or language, it is a problematic, but in object oriented programming language, you can declare it anywhere. So each language represents a compromise among the conceptual power, efficiency, and compatibility with the previous work. Yes, that is true. So you can compare now with the C++, as you are quite familiar. So advantages you are getting in C++ as compared to SLE. So any language, object oriented or non-object oriented, is a tool that can be used well or properly. So it is up to you or what type of application, what type of a project you are running. Because in case of some system level application, so C language will be more useful as compared to C++. So object oriented programming can greatly improve the expressiveness of the program comparison, because you are all well aware about the C and C++. In a designer's perspective, we can say that expressions or the declaration easiness or the maintainability or extensibility you are getting will be definitely more in C++ compared to 6. So as with any craft, good programming requires disciplines, adhere to the principles of the good style. So this is what we are discussing as a part of implementation. So just give me a second. I will try. My laptop has been started or not. Yet not. नेट बंद है क्या? चालू आहे मोबाईल वर जोड. Okay. So we are discussing in terms of as a database parts, because the rules what we are applying part as a coding parts, the same rules will be there for the database systems. So because we need to think about the control flow, we need to think about the what we can say data flow and declarations along with the way we are using it for the database. So when the main concern is access to persistent data rather than the operations on the data, a database is often appropriate form of implementation. So the main focus of the database is the structure and the constraints of the data. Means we need to define who else is going to use that my database, who is allowed it to perform the data manipulation, that is what data controlling part, because of the security constraint. Then database commands typically operate on the sets of a data from the database, incorporating a high degree of parallelism, while most conventional language are highly serial. So we need to think in that perspective whether at a time concurrent actions you are going to allow to perform with your database, because in a one single database can be accessed by in various styles at what different levels. So whether you are allowing it or not, or whether you will perform only serial operations, so you have to set that constraint, that kind of a limitations. Then database operations are much less procedural than the conventional programming language statements, although they are more procedural than a rule-based system. So database provides concurrent operations on the data by different users as a part of their fundamental structure that we need to take into the considerations while we are implementing as a database systems. So so earlier there was only database management system. Nowadays it comes with a relational database management system. Or even if we go into the today's scenario, it is comes as a ORDBMS, which stands for Object Oriented Relational Database Management System. The same. Earlier the programming was only the procedural. Now the database even coming with the same structure as a part of ORDBMS, Object Oriented Relational Database Management System, in terms of the different locking and all this part. Maybe in the next semester you have one separate subject, RDBMS, where you will understand this. So simply implement that. Working with the database at a time will allow you from different sources only with the concept of locking. That locking concept is there, means that that particular table or that particular row or that particular column will be locked to a single user at a time, and else part will be given access to other users. So that implementation part we need to take into the consideration as a part of a designers while we are working with object oriented scenarios. Now moving to the next part, that is why object oriented technology is famous, or what are the advantages we are getting as a part of object oriented scenario that we are calling as what? Object oriented style. Now just pay attention on the screen. You can able to see my screen. Just give the reply whether you are able to see my screen. Or no? Okay, just a second. I will start with my laptop. I'll start with my laptop. Okay, again internet issue is there. So better what I will do, I'll take a pause here. I'll share one test with you. All have to appear for the same. So those who will submit the test, I will consider their attendance for the session. So I'll just share the link on the group. Appear for the test. Okay, I have shared the link on the group. Is it there? Okay, so just give me the attendance first. Roll number 1.
Present.
Give your attendance. Roll number 1.
Present.
Am I audible? Okay, 1 is present. 2. Roll number 2. Roll number 3. 4. 5.
5 present, sir.
6.
Present.
7.
7 present, sir.
8.
Present.
Roll number 8.
8 is present, sir.
9. Yes,
present,
yes.
sir.
9.
9 present, sir.
10. 10. 10. Roll number 10. 11.
11 present, sir.
Roll number 11.
11
12.
present. Present, sir.
Yes, yes, I noted. 12. 12.
Present, sir.
13. 14.
13 present,
14.
sir. 13 present.
14. 1 4. 15.
Present, sir.
16. 16.
Present, sir. 16 present, sir.
17. Yes, yes, I noted. 17. 18. 1 8. 18. 19. 20.
Present, sir.
21.
Present, sir.
21.
Yes, sir. Present.
22.
Present, sir.
22.
Present, sir.
Okay, Pranali. Okay. 23. 23. 23. 24.
24 present, sir.
Okay. 25.
25 present, sir.
25.
25
26.
present.
26. 27. 28.
28 present, sir.
29. Okay. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36.
36 present, sir.
37.
37 present, sir.
38.
38 present, sir.
38. 38.
Present, sir.
39. 40. 40. 40. 41. 42. 43.
43 present, sir.
44.
Present, sir. 44.
Okay. 44. 45.
44 present, sir.
46.
Yes, sir. 46 present.
Okay. 47.
Present, sir. 47.
48.
Present, sir.
48.
Present, sir.
49.
Yes, sir. 49 is present.
Okay. 50.
Present, sir.
Okay. 51. 52. 53. 54.
54 present, sir.
Okay. 55.
Present, sir.
56. 56. 57. 58. 58. 59.
59, sir.
Okay. 59 present. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65.
Present.
65 present. Okay. 66. 67.
Present, sir.
Okay. 68. 69.
Present, sir.
70.
Present.
Okay.
26 present.
Sir, roll number 3.
20.
Sir, roll number 4 present.
26.
Just a second.
Sir, roll number 2.
Wait. One by one. Roll number 2 present. Okay.
Sir, roll number
Ah,
A23.
next.
Sir, roll number
23, okay,
19.
23 present.
Sir, A18.
A26, sir.
19 present, okay.
A26 present.
32, sir.
A26,
Sir,
okay.
A0.
A13 considered, okay.
A18 present.
A?
He's having a mic issue.
A26 present, sir.
A18.
26.
Yes, 26 present.
Sir, roll number
34, sir.
Those who have given attendance 40,
44, sir. Present.
41, sir.
40.
34.
Yes, considered. I have considered.
Sir, roll number 30 present.
Okay, now all of you just appear for the test. I have shared.
Sir, roll number
All of you
30.
appear for the test. 30, yes, I have considered.
44, sir.
34.
44, yes, present. 44 is present.
Hello, sir.
34,
31
sir.
present.
Yes, 31 also present.
Sir, roll number 4.
Yes, roll number 4 I have considered. 32 I have considered. Yes.
34.
30?
34.
34. Okay.
Sir, roll number 3.
Sir,
Roll number
A20.
3. Yes, I have considered. Now all of you appear for the test.